All right. Hey, good morning, Don. How are you doing?
Morning. Pretty good. It's actually
Right
over
on.
here. Darn it.
Yeah. Well, we can't always be in Palau and in paradise, so we have to be in other spots of the world sometime, right?
Yeah, darn it.
Well, today I'm interviewing Don Bailey, our marine biologist who's running citizen science trips to Palau. Excited to have you here today because I actually am not like a full-blown expert on citizen science. So hopefully in the next 15, 20 minutes, you can kind of fill me in on that. How does that sound?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a
Awesome.
big fan.
Cool. So just tell us how you got involved in marine biology and Palau and just give us a little background to you.
So I'm an official marine biologist. Went to school, have a master's in marine biology, studied ecological systems. One of those people that knew I wanted to be a marine biologist forever. It's either a blessing or a curse, I'm not sure yet. But I've been passionate about the ocean and marine biology since I was a little kid. I first got acquainted actually with citizen science before it was a big buzzword, using volunteers in the research that I conducted. And that was my first kind of introduction to what is citizen science? Well, it's a lot of awesome, enthusiastic volunteers that want to get involved, to want to do something more, take it to the next level.
Yeah, very cool. You worked in Palau for a little bit, am I right?
Yeah, I did. I lived and worked there for 2.5 years.
Awesome. How was that?
It was interesting. I'd never heard of Palau before, right? I was a diver. It's a bucket list destination, and here I'd never heard of it. I was a Peace Corps volunteer,
Cool.
and my Peace Corps project was developing a monitoring program for a marine protected area.
Hmm.
And the people of Palau, I needed to get involved and integrated. So marine resource managers, fishermen, pretty much anyone, and well, everyone in Palau is familiar with the ocean, but
Right.
it was almost a citizen science project before I even knew what I was doing. Um,
Yeah. So citizen scientists are basically volunteers, and tell us a little bit more about that. Tell me like why, somebody like me would love to join. Like this sounds kind of cool. I don't have it fully wrapped around my head, but what's a citizen scientist?
well, technically, if you're consulting the Oxford Dictionary, it's citizens engaging in actual science under the direction of scientists like me
Right.
and their scientific institutions. But really, it's naturalists, enthusiasts, amateur experts,
Mm.
people that pretty much have a hobby and want to take it to the next level, want to get kind of involved in developing their hobby or investigating whatever it is that their hobby is impacting. Birding is probably the oldest example around. So these super curious, enthusiastic naturalists that go out and observe, make observations, observe these birds. Oh, well, where are they going? What are they doing? Why are they here? Why do they leave? So
Mhm.
all these questions that we as people just naturally have. I mean, this is the foundation of science. Original explorers in Polynesia, were looking out at the ocean going, where's that wind coming from? Why are these coconuts floating by me? How
Right.
can I get there? So just kind of more curious adventurers. That's really who citizen scientists
Yeah.
are.
And then they're kind of making observations, and I assume like collecting data.
They're collecting data based on scientific needs, right?
Okay.
So citizen scientists will go out there and start getting data about something. What do I do with this? What's the next level? Oh my God, I love this bird. Want to know how it reproduces. Okay, well, how do I find that out? Yeah, sure, you can Google it. But if you get in touch with a researcher that's working on a project, then you can start becoming involved in that research. involved in that resource and really start taking your skills as a naturalist or an astronomer or whatever it is that you're
Yeah.
into.
So, so a scuba diver would, they're obviously, they have their open water cert, things like that. And you would provide basically additional training and then basically set the parameters as to what we're going to do for the day, what data we're going to look for. And then that would benefit, basically who and what.
Well, so citizen science is a whole spectrum from super simple and straightforward, like looking at a pamphlet or an app on your phone and there's marine apps on your phone. You can identify coral and all this kind of stuff, all the way to really intensive long-term certification courses. So it really depends on sort of the level of the scuba diver, where they're at and what they want to do with their scuba skills. So a lot of divers, they've already gone through this really intensive course. They had to learn physics and chemistry and partial pressure gas laws and all this kind of thing. So they're already kind of a really cool nerdy group that's super into taking things to the next level. So once they're donning that scuba gear, they're going underwater, people kind of get bored. They're like, all right, yeah, I floated around like plankton for a little while. Now what? So they start looking for stuff like Reef and Reef Check are two organizations that have been running citizen science for a long time. There's all kinds of stuff in Australia even where, well, maybe I don't really want to be taking data and writing stuff underwater, but I want to help, I want to give back, I want to save the coral reef. So there's a little chart, that the Australian Institute of Marine Sciences put out that says, hey, okay, take this little chart underwater and hold it next to a coral, write down what it is. And that's a very basic type of pamphlet instruction, all the way to getting a PADI certification course to be a citizen scientist on scuba and going through very specific training, addressing a very specific question.
Right.
What is the health of the coral on Netherrack Reef in Palau, right? That would obviously be a lot more intensive, would take a few days of training, learning how to see qualitatively versus quantitatively, or vice versa.
Yeah, that sounds kind of like my cup of tea. I mean, I've dove Palau so many different times, and I mean, it's great and it's always amazing, but to be able to go and dive Palau and provide something back, like data, and work with, somebody like you. I think that's really almost a once in a lifetime experience. It's pretty amazing.
Well, you're not alone. This is exactly what people want, whether it's your retired engineer, who's been analytical and questioning his whole life and searching for patterns and outcomes and whatnot. And now he's retired and wants to give back. He still has meaning and purpose and wants to do something. Or if it's your millennial that, man, they don't want to just go and see stuff. They want to do stuff. They want to give back. They want to make impact, social, environmental justice, all this kind of thing.
Right.
Citizen science is perfect. It's the way to explore, have fun.
Awesome.
Do something meaningful, do something real, tangible at the same time.
Awesome. Yeah, I can see that. That sounds, I love that plan. That's great. So I think what we're going to do, Dawn, is basically, this is kind of the first of maybe 7, 6, 7, 8 videos we'll put together. Cool. And just get people more informed about citizen science. Next time, we're going to talk a little bit more about the diving. Is that right? And what we're going to do in Palau, things like that.
You mean dive deeper into
yeah, there you go. Dive deeper into it.
Yeah, there's tons of information. And whether you're talking tropical or temperate or Sargasso Sea, I mean, there are citizen scientists out there. There's veterans out there saving coral reefs. I mean, it's endless. It's limitless what you can do with citizen science.
Awesome. What if somebody's super excited right now and do you have any good websites they can kind of check out real quick? And
there are too many. Yes.
Yeah.
One cool place is to check out your local natural history museum, actually.
Mm.
There's usually tons of programs there. There's meetup groups. You can Google anything where you're living in your own hometown and, you know, meetup group for that. But if you're super stoked about, let's say, the marine environment, there's 3 different websites. The government actually runs in the United States a website, citizenscience.gov, because even the government has realized how powerful of a tool citizen science can be. And there's even toolkits that will help you if you want to be a citizen scientist, put you in touch with a scientist. So it's a little inundating, but that's citizenscience.gov. Then there's citizenscience.org, puts you more in touch with nonprofits.
Yeah.
Then there's SciStarter. And SciStarter is actually, this is like such a cool story. I think it's Dallas Cowboys cheerleader was stoked about the environment and wanting to get involved and give back. And she and a scientist started the website SciStarter so that people can be involved and get engaged and really making a difference with their hobbies and interests.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. And then we'll stay tuned as well. And we'll next week we'll have another video for everybody. So thanks everybody for joining. Dawn, thanks for your time, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Bye.
Okay, recording's done.